became clear the hurricane was going to make it over the Appalachian and hit New York and the surrounding territories again, a wave of anti-super sentiment crashed onto social media networks. Trending hashtag dominance was torn between 1, the people who were sure the hurricane had been caused by the supers, and 2, the people who wanted to know why the supers weren't going to stop the hurricane. As rain poured across New Jersey and the winds blew trees sideways, I thumbed irritably through my news feed as I waited for my turn on the rock wall and fervently prayed the wreck wouldn't close.
You are idiots who prefer to seek out magical explanations for your problems. I will begin feeling mildly obligated to interfere with hurricanes the day you all have carbon emissions, recycled your garbage, and start taking responsibility for each other's healthcare expenses.
Oh!
Wow. Being right loudly is even more divisive than lobbying insults. That was an important life lesson, maybe. I didn't imagine Storm had made any new environmentalists that morning. Everyone was now just rallying harder to their original war banners. Or maybe she'd hoped to convert a few more mutant supporters. No wonder the Joker had mocked politics. It was so much easier to get everyone on the same side. Or at least to make them show their true colors, by simply exploding something. Food for thought. San?
Hey, the flooding down here is bad. Tunnels are going to be filled to the roof in a few hours.
Had a feeling. Am I on my own for the evening?
Can we meet early instead?
I was already at high risk for cabin fever, and the worst hadn't even started yet. Ooh, consider me on my way. Where am I headed? It's getting a little easier. Whoa. The walkways were completely covered in a river of fast-moving gray water. I was just about to give Sandro another call to tell him about the situation when I heard soft splashes echoing in the darkness below. And then crouched down to wait.
Coast clear?
Completely. Did you just swim through raw sewage?
Yep. I agreed with a grimace, glancing around at the patter of dripping water. At least we weren't being directly hit by any rain. Happens shockingly often to turtles who live in the sewers.
I glanced to him in amusement as he made a quick effort to rinse and dry himself, but then my shoulders drooped, and my eyes widened, and I quickly looked him up and down. The plastron was sufficient covering at least, and it wasn't like he was sitting provocatively, but he had still apparently made this swim sans all clothing. Technically, the cartoon turtles hadn't worn any clothing ever, and no one ever commented on that. Sandro?
Shut up, Wild. I know. Minor oversight. Notice I am seated firmly so that addle-headed maniacs can't accidentally trip themselves for curiosity's sake and make life unnecessarily awkward for both of us.
Wow, he knows how to stop me better than I know how to stop me. He pulled fresh clothing from the bag, complete with cargo pants. Sandro,
Excuse me? Hey, you are staring. Haven't you ever been in a shower before after hockey?
But...
Yo, breach of etiquette. Earth to Wildcard. Turn around, stupid.
But do you have a tail?
Stop looking at me long enough for me to put my pants on.
I need to know!
Yes, I have a tail. Now look away.
Oof.
You did that on purpose. I leaned over to see if she died of laughter.
Yes! Why so serious?
Clearly one of us has to be.
No! Serious is for people who do the same thing every day in the expectation of improvement.
Like martial arts katas, which are all about repetition.
Repetition in expectation of change? Haven't you ever heard that's the definition of insanity?
You might be paraphrasing for your own benefit, crazy little clown. It's a little unfair you can't be pranked, by the way.
That's not so. I might even let myself be pranked. If it was a good prank, you'd have to think on it. Don't let knowledge of my abilities limit you, or I will be severely disappointed.
I know someone who would appreciate this challenge. It is very unfortunate I can't ask him for backup. So, what are we doing today, aside from having awkward conversations?
Well, first we have to try and keep me from being blown away by the hurricane. After that, I could smuggle you into the wreck with all the other displaced children and amuse myself learning just how much weight you can bench.
Maybe let's avoid crowded buildings. You see the news coverage on the whole mutant and natural disaster thing?
Oh. Yeah. Now that I know you, I'm noticing that bullshit a lot more. I mean, it wasn't like I really thought of myself as someone who could be discriminated against. Who's gonna notice I'm odd without me telling them?
Well, you could try talking to them for 15 seconds. Surely they'd figure out you're odd, if nothing else.
Touché. Verbal pranks would always work, that was for sure. Anyway, now that my best friend is a turtle, it's a lot more personal. Well, let's go see the waves. That might be cool.
Oh boy, we're gonna get splashed, aren't we?
Like, that's even a question.